Steve Earle, the founder, the broker owner, Done For You Real Estate over in Utah, has brought Done For You Real Estate, the entire brokerage, and all their operations over here to eXp. You're now part of eXp Realty. Steve, welcome to eXp. It is great to have you here.
Seriously, I'm excited to be here. Thank you very much.
It is powerful stuff. Tell a little bit of your story. Tell a little bit of your story going into how you got set up with Done For You, how you got that started, and then we're going to talk about Done For You and what that means and what it is and how that's going to be such a huge benefit to agents at eXp. It's a big thing that you're doing. So tell a little your story. Okay.
Yeah, you got it. I appreciate that. I was in the construction industry for many, many years. And back in 2004, well, before 2004, I started flipping homes as kind of a little sideline to what I was doing in the construction industry. And I really came to love real estate. And so I kind of felt like I wanted to do that full time. So in 2004, I put my company up for sale and I sold it. And that provided me with a little bit of capital to become a full-time real estate investor. And what I found very quickly is I was really good at finding good deals, good opportunities to buy. And I found super quickly that I didn't have enough money to buy them all. So I decided to get my real estate license and start helping my friends and family and business associates do the same thing. And within a very short period of time, I became like the top agent in the brokerage that I was an agent with. I never did listings. I didn't do listings. It was all purchases. And so I was just helping my friends and family do what I was doing. And then very quickly, within 3 years, I started my own brokerage. And then I partnered with a buddy and we bought a mortgage company. And then we started an insurance company. And then we were looking at different things. And we started bringing lots of clients to the table to do what we were doing, which was buying single family homes and renting them out. What we called at the time a short-term buy and hold, because we'd hold them for 5 to 7 years. And so over time, that is what became known as Done For You Real Estate USA, is we put all of these services together. And it was back in about 2010 that we discovered that we were just doing that all here in Utah. We discovered that there were much better buying opportunities outside of Utah, based on purchase price and many different criteria. And so we expanded into Arizona and then Nevada and then into Florida, Indiana, Tennessee, Oklahoma, North Carolina. We're now in Dallas, Fort Worth. We just opened up that market a few months ago. We're opening up Georgia in the next few months. And so we kind of expanded into these other areas because of the opportunities for buying homes at better purchase prices, that scaled better with rents and cash flow was better and the environment was just better. So that's kind of how we got into this whole business. And we now have clients in nearly every state in the nation. And it's just kind of a cool thing to think of this. It's like we've got a client in Hawaii working with one of our acquisition coaches in Utah, buying real estate in Florida. And it works seamlessly at this point. We've really worked out all the bugs and kinks and it just works very flawlessly. And probably the number one thing that it requires is a high level of trust, because 98% of our clients will never physically see the property that they purchased. And so it's pretty amazing to me. But you develop a good reputation and you do what you say you're going to do, and you get the results that we've been fortunate to produce over the years. And that trust, has come along with it. So that's kind of how we got into doing what we're doing and how we kind of have evolved over the years. We've been doing it now for about 15 years.
What kind of volume do you guys do? Like on an annual basis, just a typical year for you, the last couple of years, were the last couple of years abnormal as it was for everybody else, or was it kind of just normal years for you and what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, we grew slowly but surely over the 15 years. It's a pretty steep learning curve. For example, over the last few years, we've done, between 350 and 400 transactions and annually. And so we've been kind of, growing, bit by bit. We've tried not to grow too fast because we want to make sure that we can always, that our customer experience is absolutely key, because when you're an out-of-state investor working with an out-of-state, company to help you facilitate everything, the experience that you have is really key to whether you're going to do this again or not. And more than half of our business every single month is from repeat customers coming back again and again, simply because it works. But even when it works really well, there's still some pain involved in real estate investing. And so the experience that you have that along with the profits that you get have to be better than the pain that you experienced. And so we have found that our clients do come back again and again. And so we've been very fortunate. So the client experience is key to us and developing that relationship and helping our clients move forward. And so that's kind of the volume that we've been doing on an annual basis.
A typical client, how many transactions do they do with you guys?
Our clients, it's really interesting because our goal with each of our clients is to help them build a 10 property portfolio. Because when you have 10 properties, because most of our clients are just regular people, they're not ultra wealthy people. When they have a 10 property portfolio, they have created what we call economic independence. And when you have economic independence, you can really do some neat things in life. It's not that you're going to go buy your own personal jet, but you can probably hop on a plane publicly and go do a lot of things. You can do a lot of good things, and you've built something that's in perpetuity, something that's residual, something that's increasing and growing and building, whether you want it to or not.
Right. Let's talk about this real quick. We'll dive into more details on Done For You, but so 4 years ago, Kelly, right? I mean, Kelly, share about how did you connect with Steve? You guys have known each other for a long time. How did that relationship get started?
Yeah, I started my real estate investing after losing so much money through 2001 to 8 and needed a different solution for my financial future. Started doing my own investing through the Rich Dad, Poor Dad education series.
Okay.
When I met Steve and his team, after spending $26,000 on education, I saw that they could do it better than I could, which was kind of one of those eye openers. But started then investing through his team. I have done 20 transactions, 20 purchases through Steve's team. And I'll have to tell you, where I sit today compared to where I was sitting 10 years ago, I feel much lighter about my financial future because now I'm in a spot where everything's managed for me. Even on all those properties, I spend about an hour a month on them. I don't spend much time managing them because they're managed. I manage the managers basically. It's very, very seamless for me, and it has turned around my financial future for sure.
That's awesome. So when did you join eXp? You got licensed as a realtor here in Colorado Springs
about 8 years ago. And I joined
8 years ago?
eXp 4 years ago, and Steve was one of the first people I called. He was so instrumental in my life. I knew he was doing great things, and this model would be amazing for him.
So, and I remember being in there. We've been in there along the way, throughout the process. But Steve, when you first saw this, I mean, again, it's a lot to chew on. I mean, it's definitely a paradigm shift, big time, in terms of just, wait a minute, I've had my own brokerage here for years, and this is how we run our machine. Like, what was that process like when you saw this? Was it kind of like, okay, I see something here. Like, no, what are you guys even showing me this for? I mean, where were you at when you first saw it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a brilliant business model for sure.
Okay.
And I was very intrigued and I looked very closely at it. But when you're doing 40 to 50 deals a month,
that extra time,
it's an overwhelming thought to like change your systems and processes in midstream. And that was one of the biggest hurdles that I needed to overcome is and on top of that, I'm kind of a methodical person. I take my time with things. Kelly laughs. I take my time and make sure that, what I'm kind of jumping into, I want to jump in with both feet and that I don't have buyer's remorse, post. And so, during the course of those years, I've attended two conferences put on by, I can't remember who it was that put it on, but two of those conferences. I've been to two national conferences that eXp Corporate puts on. I've been out to Kelly's events. I've had multiple calls with you, Jeff. Got to know you really well, and that was a big confidence booster for me. I got to know Sean over the last couple of years, and just so I kind of, it was hard. It wasn't a hard decision. It was just hard to figure out how I was actually going to make that transition. And finally, you know, we got our ducks in a row and learned enough about the kind of the logistics, the organizational side of it, that is like, I couldn't not do it anymore, because the benefits were so overwhelmingly positive. And one of the other things was giving up my brokerage and that control. Is like I'm a broker, I'm the boss, and now, you know, and now I'm not, and you know what, that's okay, because the benefit of being able to attach the eXp name and put it side by side with Done For You Real Estate is massive. And we came on board as what's called an eXp solutions provider, and we can talk more about that later. But I'm super excited about this partnership with eXp and with the Freedom team. I just feel super privileged and really grateful that I'm now here. I mean, if I could do it all over again, I really wish I would have done something 4 years ago when Kelly first, you know, introduced this to me. I just feel a real privilege. It's a real privilege to be here with you guys and with the eXp family of agents.
Yeah, for sure. What are you most excited about, Steve, as far as with, you know, where do you see this going? Like, where do you see it going for you, like in the next, you know, several years, just being here?
Yeah, you know, I'm at that point in my life where the company has always been built on like, what value, what benefit can we bring to our clients? And that's been the key to our success, is as we've put the client first, everything else just followed. You know, all the benefits, all the blessings, all the revenue, the profits, all of those things, they just kind of like came along with the opportunity of helping regular, ordinary people literally change the trajectory of their financial lives through real estate investing. Like, and it's been, you know, I love business. It's one of my great passions in life. And I've owned a number of different companies and businesses. But when you can be doing business and you can be blessing lives and you can see, like, literally get to see people's lives change, that's pretty powerful. That's pretty rewarding. And at this point, that's, you know, the greatest benefit of being in this business. And so when I look at eXp, there's two things that I see. Number one, I see an opportunity to do even more business and help more people understand what they're missing in terms of real estate investing, because the vast majority of people don't understand this concept. And that is, when this country was founded, it was founded by property owners and business owners. And all of the rules and laws and regulations and taxes over the last 200 years have been based on that concept. And so real estate is both property ownership and business, and you get the greatest benefits in this country based on the tax advantages, based on opportunities, and people. Most people don't get that. Most people are W-2, which is totally fine, and they haven't come to know the power that comes from owning real estate in terms of the tax advantages, in terms of the revenue opportunities, in terms of the residual opportunity, and most importantly, in terms of the wealth creation. Like, individuals who get wealthy in this country, more people have created wealth through real estate than any other way. And it's because of all the reasons that I'm talking about. So if I can bring that message to more people, because I'm connected to more real estate agents who can be talking and promoting this concept, the better. And so I feel like I'm on a mission right now to educate real estate agents about the power of real estate investing, that number one, that they can be using in their own lives, because so many of us as agents aren't consuming our own product. We're not investing in our own product and taking advantage of those opportunities that are right in front of us. Whether our real estate business is focused on real estate investing or not, and most agents are focused on other things, which is awesome, but you have to know enough to be able to take advantage of your own product. So number one. Number two is, I really feel like we have something to offer real estate agents in terms of additional transactions and making more money in their own business. So most real estate agents aren't involved in single family home investing. They're helping first-time home buyers. They're in luxury real estate. They're in commercial real estate. They're farming their own neighborhood community and that kind of a thing. And so to become a real estate expert is so time consuming. It requires so much information, so much knowledge, so much expertise, that either you're focused on it and that is your expertise, or you're probably not involved in it much. And that's where we come in, because you can stay focused as a real estate agent, doing what you do best. Just like our clients, they're firefighters, they're attorneys, they're teachers, they're doctors, they're dentists, and they're doing that thing, and they've come to us to help them do real estate. We can do the same thing for real estate agents, where it's like, if you're in the business of real estate, you're going to come across individuals who are like, hey, I want to buy an investment property. You're like, I have no idea how to help you, but I can refer you to this company, Done For You Real Estate. And they, like, it doesn't matter where you live in the United States, they can assist you. They can put you in the best market, finding the best deals. They've done all of the vetting. They have all of the expertise and knowledge. They can help you build a portfolio. And so I'm going to just introduce you to them, and you can have a conversation with them. And then you, as the real estate agent, we pay a 30% commission on the buyer's agent commission side of the transaction. And so literally, without lifting a figure, without looking at a single home, without writing a contract or driving by homes, you can earn what is an average referral commission of about $2,500. And so that's what I feel like we have the opportunity to bring to the table, is we get to expand a real estate agent's geography, because most real estate is done in your own backyard. You now, as a real estate agent, you can do real estate wherever we are doing, helping our clients invest. Number one. Number two, we are extending and expanding your expertise as a real estate agent, because now, like, you don't have to become the real estate investment expert. You can leverage us to become that. And so once you've referred somebody over to us, you are connected with that client forever. And you asked me a question: how many transactions do our clients typically do? And I think I'm finally getting to the answer to your question. So that was like 10 minutes of prelude to here's now finally the answer, Jeff. My apologies. And that is our clients. Their goal is to buy 10 properties, but to get to 10 properties over the course of 10 to 20 years, they're going to buy about 18 homes. But what about half of our clients do is they buy one home, and in 5 to 7 years, they're going to either sell it, do a 1031 exchange and buy two, or they're going to refinance it and buy a second one. But what a lot of our clients do is in about year 3, they infuse some additional capital and they buy their second property in about year 3 or 4. And then from the time that they started in year 1, 5 to 7 years later, they're turning that one into 2. And then the one that they bought 3 years after the first one, they're turning that one into 2, 4 to 5 years after that. And so they can kind of expedite the process. And that's what my own son did in his real estate investing experience. And what a lot of our clients, about half of our clients, do that or have the ability to do that. Other of our clients over the last 15 years, they've just built it. They put money in one time, and they've been building this portfolio with no new money.
Keep pulling
so multiple transactions. So you refer one person to us, and you're going to receive residual commissions over the next 10 to 15, 20 years on a fairly regular basis.
I was going to say, because that's one of the things that as a realtor, I would send somebody to you. If they buy 8 homes over the next 8 years, whatever, I'm going to get a referral commission 8 times.
Exactly. In fact, Jeff, at one point I'll show it to you. We put together a pro forma for agents who refer clients over to us. And it's pretty fun to see how powerful it is. If you refer one client every other month, so like 6 referrals per year, by the end of year 10, you would have earned, I think, I'm not looking at it right now, so don't quote me on this, but I'm just going off of memory. It's like $167,000.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's crazy if you're a little bit ambitious, and we got some ways to help you do this. If you're referring like one person per month over the course of 10 years, it's like $1.9 million in commission that you would have earned over the course of 10 years.
Awesome. Well, and you provide, Steve, then also for the realtors some tools to help them, because some of these realtors are not savvy in how to do real estate investing. So how do you help them create that assistance for their clients to know that this is a good solution for them? What do you provide? Yeah,
so we've created a certification program especially for and only for exclusively for eXp agents. That's something that we have not launched yet. The very first certification class is scheduled. I won't, I guess I could give you dates and so on, but I'll give you more information on that. We're going to be launching that whole kind of platform at the shareholder summit in Florida this month. So we're excited to kind of launch that. But we have all kinds of tools, education material, information for you to become your own expert if that's what you wanted to do. Like if you want to just go do this in your own backyard, we're an open book. Like we will give you everything and you can go do this in your own backyard and never pay us a referral fee if that's what you want to do. Like we want to educate real estate investors to be able to do this in their own backyard if they want to. And then if you have a client who's interested in doing real estate investing outside of your own backyard, then you can refer them to us. But we'll be providing like a free certification course, but then we'll also have the certification part is totally free, and all the education, everything that you could possibly want, we will provide you with all of the expert knowledge information that you could ever want to just go do this on your own and be a real estate expert. 100% free. If you would like it to take it to the next step, we are a marketing juggernaut. Like we've been working on the marketing side of things for years and years. We have spent millions of dollars, and I don't exaggerate. Kelly she can attest to this. Millions of dollars on figuring out the messaging and the marketing. We have a campaign with a number of national radio hosts across the country. We spend a lot there. But as far as the messaging and all the tools that, like, we're going to take all of that, put it in a box and say, here you go, real estate agent. You can just plug and play, and we'll provide you with all the copy, all the emails, everything that you could ever want. And you can market to your clients and refer them over to us, and we'll do the rest. So you don't have to do anything other than just, approach your contacts, your sphere of influence, and then refer them, like you'll refer them over to us. And here's the other cool thing is the more real estate, I get ahead of myself. I get so excited about this. So I apologize. I said over my own tongue, I'm like,
You're good.
But what I'm so excited about is that, let's say that you're focused on first-time home buyers. That's what you do in your own neighborhood, your own backyard. But occasionally you come across somebody who's interested in investing in real estate, or if you wanted to go into business with us and you wanted to just refer people on a regular basis and you wanted to market real estate investing to your clients. One of the things that makes us super unique is not only do we provide all of the services, we find the property, we rehab the property, we find our clients, or we actually do the financing for our clients, property manager, the whole thing. Post-purchase, this is the most unique thing about us, is we don't say, hey, good luck with that property, I hope it goes well. It's like, no, we stay in constant contact with you with that property to help you maximize and optimize its return and its success. And on an annual basis, we create for you a property and market review. We provide you with a market analysis as to what's going on in the market where you bought the property. And then we give you a breakdown of how your property has performed over the last year. In terms of appreciation, cash flow, what that property is doing. It's a whole analysis. And so we help you succeed, and we help you know what to do with that property and when to do it. And on that property analysis, if that was a referral from an eXp real estate agent, your picture is going to be on that property market analysis. So your name will come up frequently. Every time we're talking with that client, we're bringing up you. And those clients are more likely to stay engaged and in contact with you. And so if they're buying real estate on a regular basis, investment real estate, guess what? When they're ready to sell or upgrade their primary residence, we're sending them back to you. They mention that to us, we're sending them to you. And there's no referral fee to us or anything. We're just going to refer them back to you. You go do the deal. It's your client. We're just helping them on the investment side. I promise you will do more local real estate because you've engaged your clients in working with us at DFY. And And so those are some
I want that marketing kit, Steve. I got to get these emails out and Facebook.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to share
I'm
all that.
excited to get all that. I mean, seriously, I didn't know you guys did that.
Well, so the other thing that we do, you mentioned, like, what else do? We do quarterly, what we call real estate intensives. And if you join, like if you get certified, whether you pay or whether you don't pay, you have access to these real estate intensives that we provide to our clients. Great. So that you can get all of, like, we teach on, 1031 exchanges, depreciation, cost segregation, accelerated depreciation, all the tax and bookkeeping and accounting. We do all that. We bring in the best attorneys in the country to talk about to LLC or not to LLC. We bring in, we're affiliated with the foremost authority attorney who has testified before Congress on self-directed IRAs and how to use those monies to invest in real estate. That individual, he teaches at our real estate intensives. Property management, our property management companies, our teams are all part of this. It's a 2-day intensive where it's 8 hours a day and you're just learning all things real estate. So as a real estate agent, if you get certified through us, whether you do the free course or whether you do the paid, so you can access the all of the marketing, like you can come to that for free and participate and learn. We want to educate agents on all of this, all of these benefits of real estate and investing and all of the technical aspects of it. And then all of the high level benefits and opportunities. And then all of the tools that we have as part of the process that we go through. Like when we find when one of our agents in the market finds a property for us, we have a whole acquisitions team. And so the agent is providing us we have designated local market agents who work exclusively with us in the different markets. And when they submit a property that they think is a good property, our team then goes to work and they further vet that property. And we put together a property analysis. It's a 3-page report. It spits out all of the numbers, shows you what the opportunity is for that property over the course of 10 years. And if it gets approved, we send it back to the agent who then presents it to the client. And like all of that, we reveal all of that. You come to a real estate intensive, we're sharing all of that stuff we're just like, and that's part of why I was so attracted to eXp. Is when I attended these events, the individuals who presented, who were sharing stuff, I loved the culture of this idea that, most real estate agents, they hold all of their secrets tight to the vest. It's like, I'm not going to let anybody know about this because then they're going to take over my business. I'm like, there's enough for everybody. Like done for your real estate, as much business as we might do, we are the tiniest drop in a big bucket of real estate. And so if we can empower you to do more, whether you're doing it with us or whether you're doing it on your own, I think that benefits everybody. And there's enough to go around. And that's our philosophy. It's an abundance philosophy. And so if we can help you in any way, shape, or form, that's what we're going to do.
Well, and I've done it on my own here, Steve, in Colorado Springs. Frankly, our prices are so high for the rent that I can get. That rent ratio makes no sense. Being able to invest in your markets and have you do everything for me has just been a godsend for me.
Yeah, and Steve, may I ask, I know earlier before we jumped on here, we were asking you what's kind of a typical client, a typical story, and you were sharing about your son, but I think that'd be great for everybody to hear if you wouldn't mind sharing what you did with us. What took place with him when he first got started?
Okay, you bet. And I'll share this with you. In most presentations, you got like this big disclaimer that says, results not typical. I'm going to state right now is like what I'm going to share with you is kind of a normal experience for our clients who do this. So when my son was about 16, he was working for me. We had done for you real estate was going, and he was working for us. He was in our research department. And he came to me one day. He's like, "Dad, I want to buy real estate." He's like, "I want a game plan. I want to do this." I was like, "All right." He's like, "Well, you need to save up enough money for a down payment then." So over the next 3.5 years, that's exactly what he did. He saved up just over $20,000. And at that time in 2011, that was right after the market had crashed. And we had recently moved into the Arizona market where literally real estate had dropped significantly in value. And so he bought a really nice little place in Arizona for, I think it was like $86,000. That was enough for a 20% down payment. and enough money to fix it up. And so he bought it. And then my son, he actually, I didn't tell this part of the story to you, Sean, but he then went on a 2-year mission to South America. He left for 2 years, and that's like, he had to pay for it himself. So instead of like saving up his money and then spending it down, he bought a home instead. And he let the cash flow from it, which was about $400 a month, that paid for him to be in El Salvador for 2 years, because that's what it cost him to live down there. So he lived off of the cash flow. So with one property, when you think about it, he replaced his income with one property while he lived in South America. It was pretty cool. So at the end of 2 years, he came home and he's like, "Hey, Dad, I'm ready to go to school." It's like, "Should I sell my property and get my money out and pay for school?" And I was like, "Well, what's your goals?" He's like, "Well, I want to own like 8 properties like over time. Like that's my goal. That's what I want in my portfolio." And I said, "Well, then maybe keep the property, because in the last 2 years, it appreciated by $72,000. So while he was living in South America, earning $400 a month from this one home, it increased in value $72,000. So unbeknownst to him, because he wasn't thinking about it, he earned an additional $72,000 as a 20-year-old kid. He gets home, and so I share with him, it's like, "Well, don't sell it, refinance it." He's like, "Okay." So he had to work for another year to get his work history back up. And within that next year, he'd found, a wonderful young lady who was willing to marry him. And so they got married, and then he refinanced the property and they bought a nice little duplex. It was an old home that had a basement that was turned into a suite. And while they were going to school, he stayed in the basement. They rented at the top, and they basically lived for like almost for free. Their rent cost them, after the tenants upstairs paid for the mortgage, they owed like $250 a month or something. And then he graduates from school, and he's getting ready to head off to law school. And this is like 4 years later now. He then takes that property and he refinances it, and he buys 2 more. So now he's got one in Arizona, one where they were currently living, and then he bought 2 more. So now he's up to 4. He went to law school, graduated 3 years later, and then 3 years later, he had enough buildup of equity in one property that he refinanced that one. Then he sold the other one, and with those 2, he was able to buy 3 more. And so now he's up to 7 properties. And after graduating, he then bought a primary residence, and then a year later, he moved out of that one and turned it into a rental. So there's his 8 homes. So he's now 32, but he did that when he was 31. So in the course of about 11 years, he took $20,000 and was able to turn that into 8 properties. I was talking to his wife. This was a few months ago, and I was like, "Hey, Sandy, do you track like the equity in your properties and how they're doing?" And I already knew the answer to that question, because I asked that question to my son. He's like, "I don't have a clue, but Sandy, she tracks everything." He's like, "She got spreadsheets and this and that." And so I asked her the question. She didn't even hesitate. She's like, $924,000. And I was like, in 11 years, they took a $20,000 investment and turned it into $924,000. Now, obviously, today you can't buy a home with $20,000 down, but it's all relative. And we have clients who got started a few years ago. They're doing the exact same thing. And so it's powerful what you can do with real estate. Real estate can do things for you in a relatively short period of time. Like, people get overwhelmed, like 10 years, that's forever. It's like, do you know how long it takes to put together retirement the normal way? And it usually doesn't even work. It's like minimum 30 years. You can do in 10 years, 10 to 15 years, what's going to take you 30 to 40 years, the regular way, if at all. And so it's pretty powerful. And we have many, many examples, hundreds of examples of individuals who have done very, very similar things.
So, Steve, may I ask you, in today's market where the prices are at, interest rates and all that, what's a typical client have to come up with for their first initial payment? Is there like a range for that first 20 to 25% down, or what is it?
Yeah. And we used to do 20%, but with the lending rules, things have changed. And we can get about almost 1% better on the interest rate if you go to 25%. So almost exclusively now, our clients put 25% down instead of 20% to get that better interest rate. And so when you include your down payment of 25%,
yep,
your closing costs on the loan. We buy properties, they are not fixer-uppers. We buy newer homes. About half of our purchases right now are actually new construction. We have relationships with a lot of builders who deliver properties to us in the different varying states that we're in. Average purchase price is about $285,000 now, $285,000. If I showed you pictures of these homes, you'd be blown away because, I mean, you're buying all brick, 3-bed, 2-bath, 2 or 3 car garage.
Wow.
Built in 2019 or newer for $285,000, $300,000. But anyways, back to your question. And then we charge what we call a teams fee on each transaction, $69.95. It's a flat fee that we charge. And so we're about $80,000 to $85,000 all in, right? That's everything to get in. And then we also, highly recommend that you have a reserve account, a sleep well at night account, where because of real estate, inevitably you're going to have some repairs and expenses that will come along. And so we also, it's good for you to have that reserve. So about $80,000, $85,000 will get you into a very nice home. The range is anywhere from 80 to call it 105 is about where we're at today.
And then a typical reserve, what are you saying?
About $5,000 per property.
Per property. Okay.
Yep.
Very good, man. That's truly amazing. This content is incredible. I'd want to go through the first course you have. I'm all into this whole idea. Now it's just figuring out a way. Where do I pull the money from to come up with that first down payment? Because I'm in. I've been thinking about it forever. And the more I keep hearing this, the more I'm just going, I know it's the direction I got to go.
Well, it's interesting. That's kind of the typical reaction as we talk to people. They're just like, how is this even possible? Like, this is amazing because when you buy real estate, there are various revenue sources. You have your cash flow, you have your principal pay down because somebody's renting your property and every month, $300-$400 is being paid down on that loan. That is money in your pocket. So principal pay down, then you have depreciation on your tax return. You are required by law to take depreciation. And that's another $300 to $400 to $500 per month that you get a benefit of. And you literally, that is money in your pocket every year when you pay $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 less on your taxes because of depreciation. And then you have appreciation. And in the markets where we buy, we found even, like in the last year or so, when things across the country, you listen to the news and you think that real estate was just, devaluing everywhere. Well, it's not devaluing everywhere. It isn't in some places for sure. In the markets where we're buying, we actually saw an increase of between 2% and 3% this last year, where in other places it had gone down 10%, 12%, 15%. And it's because of the areas that we choose. We're choosing markets where there's population growth, where there's job growth, where there are business friendly and landlord friendly laws, where there's just good growth, and that usually promotes a good appreciation. So those are all the benefits, and so people get pretty excited about the opportunity. The one thing that I really feel like when I think about eXp and the opportunity, to benefit and help eXp agents, a lot of agents in eXp, they're really excited about the team building opportunity. And that is such an amazing and unique space for us as eXp agents to be in. And I really feel like we have something for agents who are team builders, those who aren't as focused on the real estate or on real estate transactions as much as they are in team building. There are different requirements, right? The frontline qualified agents. As agents, we have to stay qualified in order to earn the commissions on transactions that are happening. Well, if you refer 2 people every 6 months who transact with us, you will earn over $5,000 in commissions, and that fulfills that requirement for an FLQA. And so, can you think of that? Like, think of that: 2 referrals every 6 months could keep you qualified. 2 referrals per month by your team members could keep them qualified. And in today's market, especially where transactions are very hard to come by, if you have somebody who you think is interested in investing in real estate, I mean, I think about team builders and their networkers, right? You're always talking to people. You're always making acquaintances. 9 out of 10 times, if you just bring up real estate investing, somebody's either done it or they're interested in it. They've been thinking about it forever.
Yep.
And like, it doesn't matter who you're talking about. They don't need to be another agent. That they could just be a random person you're talking to on the street. You can walk up to somebody on the street corner and say, have you ever thought about investing in real estate? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say yes. And so like guys who are like geniuses at like networking, that kind of a thing, like you think you can refer to people every 6 months, that could keep you qualified. And if you as leaders, if you are a leader of a team and you trained your team members to just talk investment real estate, and it's like, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be an expert. You don't even have to talk too much about it. Just refer them to Done For You Real Estate. They'll take care of the rest. What this really is, so we're Done For You Real Estate for real estate investors, but we are Done For You Real Estate, quite literally, for real estate agents. You don't want to do a transaction? We'll do it for you. You just refer somebody who's interested in doing real estate investing. We'll take care of the rest. Bam, done. And so I'm super excited about that concept.
You had mentioned to me another huge benefit that I know some of these very production-oriented realtors, the folks that are making a lot of money in real estate, and there are a lot of them out there, okay, about 20%. But those folks, their ability to create kind of a tax-free income, and you had mentioned cost segregation. Can you journey down that path for just a minute?
Yeah, you bet. So based on current tax law, so this is current tax law, there's something that's called accelerated depreciation. And very few people know about it, surprisingly, probably because you can only qualify for it in one of two ways. Either you have to be a real estate professional, or you can apply that accelerated appreciation to passive income. Well, if you're a real estate professional, if you're a licensed agent, if that's how you earn your income, if you own real estate, you just need to go through the rules, talk to your tax accountant, and see if you qualify as a real estate professional. If so, when you buy a property, you can get a study done for about $2,700. Which is called cost segregation. That's where they take all of the different elements of the property and they segregate them, and because everything is depreciated at a different rate. Like your roof is depreciated at a different rate than your furnace or your flooring or your paint or your electrical. And so, and it's actually, this is the preferred way for the government to do depreciation because it's more specific, but it's also potentially more beneficial. I'll give you an example is, I bought 4 properties last year, and I paid for the cost segregation studies. And on average, I was able to depreciate about $80,000 per property. Now, the rules change every year, and they are changing. And so you just have to stay ahead of it, and you have to know. This next year, these same properties I'd probably only be able to write off about $60,000 if I were doing it this year. But as real estate professionals, we need to be buying at least one property per year, and we can significantly reduce or eliminate our tax liability. And it applies to both federal. Well, I'm not gonna say because I'm not a tax accountant, but talk to your tax accountant. But it potentially can apply to both federal and state taxes.
Can you do that with your current house you live in, or only with rental properties?
Only with rental properties is my understanding.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's why I say, if you're a real estate professional, you can't afford to not be buying real estate.
So if people viewing this video, they want to know more, should they just come to us individually, or do you want to throw out a place they can go to get more information?
Yeah, so for right now, if you just go to DFY, so that's Done For You, so DFY-realestate.com. That's my website. and you can get a ton of information, not only about what we do, but we keep all kinds of educational videos on there. You want to learn about 1031 exchanges? We have a video there. You want to learn about LLCs? We have an attorney talking about LLCs. You want to learn about all these different things?
Okay.
It's for please come and consume that education. But also, if you want to learn about the way that we invest in real estate, that's also super clear there. So we're very niched, right? Like people ask us all the time, well, can I buy a fourplex through you? It's like, nope, you'll need to go find somebody who does fourplexes. We only do single family rentals, and it's for very specific reasons. Like, and I'll share with you one of the reasons. If you buy a fourplex, at the end of the day, you're ready to sell that property. Let's say you need to sell it. Who's your pool of buyers? Other investors. Like your pool is like this, it's very small. And guess what? All of those investors are looking for a good deal.
Yeah.
If you have a single family home that you've been renting out, how big is your pool? It's massive. And so it's not just investors, it's primary home buyers. Now, as far as single family homes go, people will ask us, well, I want to buy like more of a luxury rental. And it's like, well, we only do 3 to 4 beds, 2 baths, 2-car garage, middle income neighborhood. Why? Because that's where the majority of America lives. Some people will ask us, well, I want to do some like C-level, C-class type properties in the lower income properties because you can get better cash flow. It's like, well, you can go do that. And there's people who specialize in that and they do really well. Go do that. We don't do that because guess what? That takes more time. It takes more energy and it takes more focus. The properties that we buy are for people who are very busy doing what they do, and they only want to spend an hour a month at it. They don't want to spend 10 hours doing it. So we buy properties where they're going to be the most hands-off. You're not going to have a lot of repairs. You're not going to have a lot of tenant issues. You're not going to have a lot of the things that require your time. And so we're buying newer B plus type properties that are going to attract a nice middle income neighborhood family, and that is very attractive to our rental property managers because they know that they have the biggest pool from which to draw to rent that property out. So for those reasons, that's why we are very, very niched. And that's one of the things that was attractive to eXp Corporate. A few weeks ago, I had a team meeting call with Glenn Sanford and Leo Pareja, and we were having a conversation about what we're doing, and we ended up coming on not only as me as a real estate agent, but my organization as an eXp solution. And as we kind of had this type of conversation with them, they're like, this is what our agents need. Like, we love this idea of very niche focused businesses because that's where the opportunities are. So whether it's investing in real estate like we do, or doing some other type of investing, or being like a first time home buyer, or focusing on some particular ethnic group because you speak a certain language, or whatever the case may be, like, that's one of the keys to real estate transacting is get very niched and become the absolute expert. That's who we are. We are the tip of the spear in this little niche. We are literally, we're forging and blazing the trail to the best way to invest in single family homes for the type of client that we attract, right? We're not attracting like people who are like do-it-yourselfers, who they want to do everything, or people who are flipping homes, or people who want to be hands-on. Like,
may I ask this question? Maybe it's more specific for me, but I would think a lot of people might be thinking this. I've got a lot of money tied up in just different stocks and mutual funds, and that's why I'm coming to somebody that's an expert. Can you take it from stocks, mutual funds, roll that into an investment, and not have to pay a penalty or the taxes on it if it's being moved into another investment?
Yeah, I mean, and this might be a question for Kelly because this is her world, but if your money is in stocks and bonds and that kind of a thing, and it's not in retirement funds, if it's in a retirement account, then there potentially can be penalties if you pull it out. There's way to self-direct your retirement funds so that you can take that money and invest it in real estate. There's ways to do it. Kelly, I don't know if you want to talk to that.
Yeah. So, Sean, particularly, is it in a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, or in non-qualified funds?
I just got a mutual fund set up with a friend of mine who's been specializing in it. I've got stocks, I've got cryptos. They're diversified all over the place, but I've got them tied up. None of them are IRAs or 401s.
Okay. And all of those become available. You can use them for real estate investing. The IRAs are much, much harder, frankly, to get the mortgage on it. But if this is kind of liquid money, if it's in a mutual fund, it's liquid money. If you sold it, there'd be maybe some gains on it that you'd have to pay some. But other than that, it's very available for you for real estate investing.
So, Sean, one of the things that we do is this very question that you asked is part of our process for helping somebody know how and if they can invest in real estate is we take a look at what are all of your resources, stocks, bonds, IRAs, mutual funds, crypto, whatever it might be. Okay. And we just go through a series of questions, and we can help you see and understand where maybe you didn't think you had resources to do real estate, that maybe you do. And so one of the other things that makes us very unique is we have several individuals on the team who are former financial planners. They're no longer licensed. They've converted to real estate as the main investment vehicle, but they take clients who are, call it more high level, like yourself, who have access to a lot of resources, and they help you see opportunities that you otherwise wouldn't be able to see, all the way from the tax advantages to whether it makes sense to buy cash or whether it makes more sense to leverage. And I could tell you several experiences. I mean, we have one, I'll just share with you one experience. One of our investors, one of our clients, super savvy, successful business owner, he came to us and he's like, hey, I've got this money. He's like, I want to just buy like 8 properties free and clear and be done with it. And we're like, okay, we can do whatever you want, but would you mind sitting down with us for an hour and a half? And we'll do what we call a deep dive. And so one of our guys will sit down with him and he'll show somebody like that. He showed this individual. He's like, here's how you could do it. And here's the tax advantages of doing it this way to increase your overall net income. Because at the end of the day, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. And so he showed him by leveraging a little bit, cash some, and some kind of diversifying in how he was acquiring the properties. He was blown away. He was like, okay, let's do it your way, because it just makes a lot more sense. And so that's one of the other unique things that we offer, is the ability to do a deep dive to see the additional opportunities that exist in how to acquire the properties.
Okay, cool.
So, and I pass on a lot of my folks that come to me, financial clients that come to me that have some real estate portfolio. We do a look at that real estate portfolio, and 90% of the time, if they were to do a 1031 and shift that portfolio over into done-for-you homes, they'd have higher cash flow, better leverage on their equity, better returns, better appreciation. Almost to a T, they can do better than the real estate that they had acquired through the years. So that, again, Steve's team can help with that deep dive if they're savvy real estate investors already. Because I was doing my own real estate, but I can tell you to let it go. You said, Steve, you're not targeted to the fix and flippers. I was a buy and holder doing it myself. To have you guys do it for me, though, is such a blessing. Such a blessing to let go of that.
Well, and I love the idea that it's just because we've had rental properties before, but I'm the guy that, I don't know. I'm 5 minutes away from the house. I haven't been by there in 6 months. I'm just going to take a drive by. Oh my God. When are they going to mow the yard? The fence fell down. When did the fence fall down? They never caught me. This kind of stuff. Like, I don't want to drive by, no. But it's just, I don't want to have to think about it. But it's been such a pain, over the years with like rental properties right here. I love that they're out there and that it's just, do it for me, Steve. That's what that done for you thing. I'm like, I don't want to deal with it. Absolutely. I love that idea. I love the idea too. I mean, like my daughter and her husband, they got married 3 years ago. They were able to buy a house, after year one. And, of course, the equity, they've got good equity. They're like, I could just see we're like, wow, like to get them involved in something like this. And, they're good with their money. If they could just figure this out, whatever, over the next couple of years, be able to buy a property number one, by the time they're 40, they've got 8 or 9 homes and they're set up for the rest of their life. Like but I also see people too, Steve, like I'm thinking right now about clients I've worked with that are, they're in their, mid to late 50s. Maybe, I don't know, they downsized and they're, whatever, but there's so much equity that people have gained here. There's so many ways probably to get them in touch with you. You could dive into all their stuff between, investments and equity in their home that they live in right now, different things. Like, here's a way to come up with a plan to where 6 months from now, a year from now, I don't know, next month, we can get you into this program and you can start getting yourself set up to where, again, 10 years from now, you've got, 8 to 10 properties and life looks completely different than what it is.
Well, Jeff, I'm telling you, like, for young people, that is like a great strategy. They may not have $85,000 to get started with an investment property out the gate, but they might have 3 or 4% to put down where they can buy a primary residence, and maybe they can find one where they can rent the basement and offset their mortgage. That's a fantastic strategy, with the intent that literally is their first investment property. And within a few years, within 5 to 7 years, that home's going to be worth enough that they could either refinance it and keep living there, or they could sell it and turn that property into an investment property, like another investment property where they do put, the full 25% down. That's a powerful strategy. Like, if I could get on my soapbox for just 60 seconds, go for it. I get so concerned when I hear, like, the media, government officials saying that the up and coming generation, they don't have a chance. They're going to be in debt up to their eyeballs. They're going to have to, they're paying for these expensive educations and that kind of thing. Yes, all those things, we need to work on fixing some of those things. But to pigeonhole, like, our youth, our people who are coming up and saying that they don't have a shot at the American dream, I get so fired up and so upset about that. The opportunity exists. And even in the real estate side of things, if we taught our own children these principles, they can get involved at a fairly early age, and they can accomplish things by the time they're in their early 30s, mid 30s, early 40s, and they can be contributing back to society instead of doing what society is saying, is that, oh, they're going to be dead. They're not going to be able to do anything until they're 75 or 80, whatever the case might be. Like, we can teach the upcoming generation that here's how you pay for your education. When I think about, my son, he got a loan to go to law school, but guess what? He could pay it off today because of the equity that he has in his properties. He's choosing not to. He's paying for it with his job. But the benefit of having the real estate and the equity is, if he needed to, if he wanted to, he could. And we can train and teach and educate and help the up and coming generation to have hope in the future and not feel like everything that they're gonna be worse off than we were. And so, anyways, I feel like real estate is one of those things that can help the up and coming generation accomplish and achieve that, and just even have the hope that it's still possible.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to have you here. I mean, it's just, I don't know. This is going to open up so many doors for agents. I think it's going to open up doors for all of our clients. I think there's all kinds of ways. It's just got my head spinning in a good way. Like, I mean, I see us doing webinars where we're going to, I don't know, here's a Saturday morning, 9 to 11 webinar. We bring a bunch of people in, we get online and we do a done for you thing. And we're teaching people how this can work. And I don't know, there's so many opportunities here, I think, to just, and are you ready to unleash this to 8,000 agents in Orlando in a couple weeks?
We are ready to go. I tell you, we're so excited about it. The call with, eXp Corporate this morning, we got some things that we're working on and planning. And what I'm most excited about, though, more than anything, is like being at the conference, because I've been at many of them already. I'm excited to be able to say, I am eXp. I'm no longer, it's like, I'm just waiting for the right time. I'm going to do it. It's like, I've done it. I'm here. Like, I'm part of the family now. To have some great conversations with leaders and influencers and just, share what we have to share, and hopefully, set the stage for, helping